Alright guys, I'm a little winded. I've been running my butt off. I went and got a new project today. You know, because I need one. I have my little teardrop camper that I've had for the last few years, but now that I've got the kid and dogs and everything, there's not enough room in there for all of us. And I may have bitten off more than I can chew with this project. It didn't look as bad as it is when I first saw it, but I didn't really get a good chance to look at it because it was in a farmer's field and the farmer said, come get it. So anyways, without further ado, there she is. It's actually the same length from ball hitch to center of axle as my teardrop, but tons more room. The thing, let me back up a little bit. The thing was completely full of old camping gear and just garbage. Had a hell of a mouse problem in it, and it's got some rot, more rot than I thought, but I couldn't see it when it was full of stuff. This whole back section, I got to remove the metal and replace the plywood there. And then up underneath the front window, I got to replace that. Lots of work to do, but it's going to be on minimum probably of 35-inch tires. I have a different axle that I'm going to put under it because that one is not quite heavy duty. But I figured I'd bring you guys out here. I forgot to video the load up of it, and when I loaded it, it had 2 flat tires, and the jack is all messed up. The ball coupler is all messed up. Like, it was a experience. So anyways, I had 2 helpers when I loaded it, and now I'm unloading it by myself. So I figured I'd better set up the camera, because if this goes bad, like it very well could, I want you guys to see it. Problem is, I have to set the ramps up narrower than the Jeep right now to get the trailer down, but then I don't have anybody to readjust the ramps. So I'm hoping that I can get the trailer on the ground and get stopped and get out and pull my ramps out of the way. Then I can use the tilt deck on the trailer to let the Jeep down. I might end up just having to let the tilt deck down anyway and run over the ramps. We'll see. That's all that matters. I gotta move this trailer so I can move that, but we got her down. That was I really think that was gonna go horrible. Yeah, the work begins while this is sitting in the driveway. I can't really move it because the jack is busted. I need to get a new jack for the front before I go park it somewhere. So I'm going to strip the whole inside of this, get all the paneling out, probably rip the insulation out too, get rid of that. I'm gonna strip it down to its bones as far as I can, and spray it and get rid of the nastiness, and then I'll be ready for rebuild when we get to that point. But right now she's I think it'd just be peace of mind. Make sure that there are no mice in the walls. If there's no insulation, no cavities for them to be in, they will not stick around. So I'm gonna work on that today. Can't tell at all where the mice were in these walls. This is just the last section that I removed. I got pretty much everything else. Down in here was all really bad with mouse, and then the very front bottom, that was all really bad. Other than that, there really wasn't other mouse nest, so that's good. Doesn't look like they could even get up to the ceiling, and I really don't want to strip the ceiling, but it's sealed off really well. So I'm gonna finish ripping out these last bits of insulation, that last little piece of wood, and do a little trimming up around here. I gotta find a bit to take that piece off the ceiling. And then, yeah, I think I'll try to get this piece of aluminum hooked to the piece above it. I got to clean all the gunk out behind it so I can get it back up tight. But once I do that, then that'll be sealed back up, and we'll have a sealed box other than the holes in the floor, which I'm going to rip out. This is flooring over the original flooring, and it is all nasty, rotten, gross. So I'm going to rip it all out too. Obviously, it's in poor repair. The fender got screwed up from a blown tire before, so it just sprayed water up on the bottom of that. But yeah, tons of fun, but it needed done. This thing needs stripped. There's some rotten framing. We'll fix that and re-insulate. The insulation, actually, most of it looked pretty good, but I'm sure the smell would never go away, so that's why I just ripped it all. I'll redo it, and it'll be good. So yeah, project isn't going to go much further than this point for now, but I figured while I got it, get it cleaned out as best I can so we have a blank canvas to move forward with. Alright, she's fully stripped out and just got another bath washed out. Damn it, I see a spot right there that needs to be rinsed down again. Blew out all the corners as best I could. Really blew out the floor best I can. This whole floor is going to get ripped out and replaced. But yeah, it's actually somewhat sanitary now for how gross it was. Well, you know, since I'm not going to work on this project, I figured it's a good time to go ahead and work on this project. The walls are about to fall off. They are supported by the floor, and so the rim all the way across the bottom is rotten on both sides. So I took both sides lower panels off, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screw 2x4s all the way along just below where the metal's at there, and I can put a jack under that to get pressure off the bottom. Then I can get that bottom off of there, cut a new one and put it on, then I'll go and do the same thing on the other side. While I have it jacked up, I'm actually going to replace the floor because the walls sit on the floor. So I gotta go get some 2x and 2 sheets of plywood, and I'm going to get that part done. Maybe kind of rebuild the corners in the back. Both of them are broken where it has rotted off. The fronts are actually solid. It's just I got to fix that. And actually most of the damage is just the lower piece. I might not even have to mess with much. And the other smaller stuff up in the corners, that's all stuff that I can do later. But right now I don't feel comfortable moving this thing without replacing that, because I think it is about to fall off of its frame and total the whole thing. So a little bit of extra work, but oh well. Once I have that part done, then I'll be happy to let it sit, have the critters sealed out and the metal sealed back up, and then we can work on finishing this out later. My wife's going to help me. I'm going to build the suspension. It's going to have bigger tires on it, but I'm going to do all the stuff there to make those fit. And then once we have that done, then she's actually going to finish the inside of this thing and make it look nice. If she has time. She's a very busy woman, and so am I. So never know when it'll get done, but that's our game plan anyway. So I'm gonna run down to the lumber yard and go get some materials and see if I can get this thing shored up, safer to move. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You can see there's just no wood left. This is supposed to be up on top of the, well, this is the floor. It's supposed to be on top of that. So it's dropped an inch back here, which caused everything here to kind of buckle. So I want to get this wall jacked up, get that pulled back in the way it's supposed to be, the floor under it, and everything stronger so I can move it. All right, so we got it, the two I screwed on there holding the wall. I jacked it up a bit. This tire's still flat, but I jacked it up to where the floor actually lifted up above the frame right there. So it's got just enough tension on it where it sits that I'm gonna go through and take the Sawzall and cut all the nails off that are in the bottom of the wall there. I got to rip down, I got a pressure treated 2x4. I'm gonna rip it down to the size I need and then put it in there and secure it up to the wall. And then I'll when I cut this old one out, I'll get the floor out of the way too. I'll probably stick a Sawzall and buzz it off right now. That way I can get the wall finished and ready, and then I'll figure out how to get the sheets in there. I might end up using, I have another handyman, might end up using it on the other side, and I'll try and jack both sides up to get off the floor, and then I can try and slide the sheets in from the other side. Or this side, I guess it really doesn't matter. I can try and slide them underneath. So we'll see how that works. This is, I've never done this before. It's just how it makes sense in my head to try and fix it. Alright, I got a bit of a predicament. As I was cleaning up the frame and stuff, I cut off the screws that held this sheet metal on top of the frame. So the whole body slid forward, my handyman tipped and everything, and it stopped because it hit up here in the front, so that's good. The rear is still attached with the sheet metal, but not real great. I just need to get this thing up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I shove that 2x underneath the leg over there, and it should be able to drop down, go underneath this leg if I can lift it. And then that way the front of the body is supported, and I can try and get the rear floorboard put in to hold that rear from moving, and then I can worry about getting this brace back out up here and getting this wall set. But yeah, it's kind of a sketchy situation, and this whole thing could fall off, and that'd be a bad day. All right, so it's 78 inches wide. I already went ahead and cut the floorboards, had them stacked. I'm gonna try and put them back in the same way I took them out, which is through this front section. So I'm gonna have to try and get that 2x back out of there, and hope that things don't fall apart. This is nerve-wracking. I don't like it. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Now that it's sitting back on its frame. So we're going to slide this one in the front, and we'll move it to the back, and then I'll grab the front one and try and slide it into. Okay. All right, I'm going to go and slide that to the back and see where we end up. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to rip that sheet lengthwise, which I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but it's 44.5 inches wide is all, not 48 like the back. So I'm gonna have to go do that real quick. Holy cow. For how we were looking about a half hour ago, I'm much happier now. That actually, those laid in nice and tight. I had to lift the front up because it was sagging on the sheet metal. Had to lift it up to get the floorboard back under it, but I got it. The seam actually looks nice here. That rear one's up under there tight. Everything's still kind of shifted from when it moved. You can see that needs to come out a couple inches. This whole wall's bowed in because the jack tipped, but I didn't want to mess with things too much. I'm gonna get the rails cut that go under the wall studs. I'm gonna get those cut, and I'm probably gonna end up just toe screwing those down. We'll see. But I'm gonna get those cut and then try and get these walls settled back down onto the floor, and then I will be so excited. Once again, I'm terrible about videoing. Sorry about that. I got this side set down. There's no screws in it, but it's sitting down on the floor on its new tread plate. You can see this rear is just in bad shape. Doesn't match up very good. That's fine. I haven't landed this side yet, though. You can see it's still bowed way in and everything. I gotta chop down the side piece to 92.5 inches, and then I'll fish it under there, and I'll set the wall back down on it, and then I'll run some screws up through a few things. I need to get some long, heavy-duty self tappers to screw this floor down, but I can get those tomorrow. I'll at least have the body connected to the floor to give it some strength back, and this thing's starting to look way better. Pretty excited. Well, I'm not going to video me putting a few screws in to hold it. You guys have seen people put screws in before, but we've got new floor, new pressure treated tread plate. There's going to be more repair to do in here. Obviously, there's a lot of rot in corners, and that upright right there is really bad to the left of the window, stuff like that. But I got a much better foundation to start on with this, and once I get this floor screwed down solid, that right now it kind of has a bow to the outsides, it should actually pull that floor back up and things will be good. I can put the side skirting back on and seal this thing up a bit. Alright, I know this isn't my Jeep build, and I keep complaining that I never have time to work on my Jeep. I have a problem with starting a project and I can't let it go. But this thing, I couldn't let it sit there. We have neighbor cats that are constantly over here using our place as a litter box, and I didn't want the holes in the floor, so you know, it is what it is. I spent a day on it, got it to where I can actually do something with it now, and it'll be a fun project in the future. At least at this point now, my wife can start picking out what she wants to do and laying it out, and we can start building things, you know, as time allows. But yeah, if you like watching, you know, stuff like this, let me know in the comments. It's fun to kind of do something a little bit different. I was facing a little bit of burnout on that Jeep, and then it's hard to get motivation to get started back up on it. But you know, getting this done, kind of change of pace, I'll jump back on that Jeep, and you know, tomorrow hopefully I'm gonna try and get it ready to where I could start it. I don't really want to fill all the fluids and stuff up on it, but you know, I get antsy, so we'll see. But anyways, thanks for watching. This was actually kind of a fun project, and you guys saw how bad it was. Anyone can do this. All it takes is a little time. I've got about 8 hours into ripping the floor out and replacing it, and that included gutting the walls. So, you know, work at your own pace and do cool stuff.